maybe trying to bring the left and the right together, and not so sure about these things, okay?
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, let me see how it goes, and I really appreciate the fact that I'm able to speak in a free forum, my own ideas. Now, let me just say I'm a Marxist. I'm a, quote, traditional Marxist, not neo or anything like that, okay? I always thought that the ruling class will do whatever it takes to keep itself in power, so therefore 9/11 wasn't, I mean, frankly, was not that big a surprise for me. I mean, I'm sorry, it wasn't that big a surprise, okay? And it seems after I didn't, however, have an immediate response like some people do, like Arlene over here, wherever she is. She was here a second ago, who knew immediately what was going on. I took me 4 months to sort of get into stride. I got into stride with Michael Rupert speaking in Toronto. But anyway, once I crossed the road, I mean, I really felt like you had to find out the truth about 9/11. Now, part of my problem is, I don't think the truth is sort of like something you just touch like gold and you have it. It's not quite like that. And that's kind of been reinforced. Like last night I was here, and there's so much difference among ourselves about what happened, okay? That, people who personally are wonderful people have very different ideas about some of the details. So I'm not sure there is that truth with a capital T. Okay, okay, let me go on now. So anyway, I was invited to give a speech on whatever I wanted to talk about, and so I wanted to choose a theme about the dangers of thinking about the right and left getting together. Now, it so happened about a week ago I got Robert Bowman's latest publication, which starts out with a long article called Left and Right Together. It's on your website, it's on his website, okay? And it's the brown text. I mean, I've highlighted certain things from the brown text, which you see on the top of this handout, okay? And I'm going to go through them kind of quickly, just to give you, and this is a taste. I want to treat him with respect. I mean, I'm just going to lay it out, and because when you first read it, it sounds kind of like reasonable, okay? And then I want to kind of penetrate below it, okay? So he says, our presidents have been servants of global investors, and members of Congress have abdicated their constitutional responsibilities and subjected themselves to an imperial presidency. A patriot is defined as one who loves, supports, and defends his country. You can't be a patriot without being a populist. If those in power will not fulfill their constitutional duty to serve the people, then we must remove them and replace them. That's going to, well, actually everything he's saying here is key in one way or another of the things I want to say. We must demand a government which follows the Constitution, honors the truth, and serves the people. That serves the people connects with the populism he just said. We patriots can bring about such a government by electing patriots to Congress and recruiting patriots already in government to our cause. It is always tempting to start yet another political party, but our system, now this is where he maybe disagrees with Sander, because Sander wants to start a truth party, but our system makes such a course futile. Racism has nothing to do with political philosophy. It is an unfortunate result of slavery and its aftermath, and will disappear eventually. Government must be strong enough to protect us from the power of multinational corporations and their cartels. We oppose our nation becoming entangled in foreign military adventures not essential to our national security. As conservatives and liberals, remember he's trying to bring the left and the right together. As conservatives and liberals, we support our military, including our veterans who have served and survived. As conservatives and liberals, we will not tolerate, borrow, and spend government. As conservatives, we will not sanction a welfare state, yet at the same time, as liberals, we want every member of society to share the benefits of productivity, and we expect workers to receive a fair share of the wealth they create. Now, I'm not going to deal with every single point he makes here, and I would make some preliminary remark that he sort of defines people, I mean, like all of us, you know, me, you, and any one of us as being on the left with sort of fixed views, which I don't think is actually quite accurate. I mean, I think our views evolve as we mature and experience life. But that's kind of a minor point from the kinds of things I want to say. Now, and this is one of the first important thing I want to say. if you say you're a patriot who stands up for the Constitution, you have to mean what you say, okay? You have to mean that you stand up for virtually everything in the Constitution. I mean, that's the way, that's your posture. I am a patriot. Those bastards have distorted the Constitution, and I want to restore the United States to its constitutional origin. What are the constitutional origins of the United States, okay? That's a long discussion, but there's a couple of facets that I want to just mention. First of all, the first 15 presidents of the United States were all slave owners, and the Constitution itself was established as kind of everybody knows, but I want to say it, by white, male property owners, okay? That's where we go back to 1789, okay? Has all of that disappeared? I mean, is that irrelevant information? It's not irrelevant information, and I want to highlight one aspect of the Constitution. That's the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution, which reads, no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. That's a major, seemingly minor sentence. Why? Because it says nobody will be deprived of property without due process of law, which means that this piece of paper right now is my piece of paper, okay? If you grab it from me, then a due process of law should come involved in preventing you from stealing this piece of paper from me. But it is expanded to what other issue? It's expanded to the issue, and from the very beginning, it had already expanded to that issue, and that is the right, the private property right to profits. I want to assert, and I think it should be obvious to everybody in this room, that basically the huge amount of profits going to the corporations is the driving force behind the U.S. government. I mean, I don't think I need to elaborate that, but maybe for some people, I don't know, whatever. I'm just going to assert it, okay? That the huge amounts of profit are what sustains and drives the United States government throughout the United States government. But right now we're focusing on the presidency and members of Congress, okay? So how would you get a patriot to defend the Constitution when the Constitution has the private right to property rights, profit rights? And I'm going to mention something I mentioned to somebody earlier this morning. What is profits? Profits means, in part, that you own a company which maybe hires 100 workers. The 100 workers are working 40 hours a week. That means that they're putting in 4,000 work hours. These 100 workers are putting in 4,000 work hours. How much are they getting back? Anybody have an idea how much they might get back in terms of the number of hours it takes to make the things they can consume with the wages they get at the end of those